The Generals of the Yang Family, Chapter 28.
So picture this. You're standing in the ancient capital city of Beijing,
Okay.
and it is the absolute dead of night. Before you is this massive, seemingly impenetrable manor, right? It belongs to a super high-ranking, incredibly wealthy government official.
So totally insulated from the outside world.
Exactly. Inside, the air is just thick with the smell of roasted meats and really expensive wine. They've got this lavish midnight banquet going on, complete with musicians, singing boys, the works. It feels completely safe.
Right, like nothing could possibly touch them in there.
But outside, literally scaling the east wall, is an uninvited guest. And this guest is harboring a deeply personal, incredibly lethal grudge.
Yeah, and within minutes, this whole scene of luxury is going to, well, completely transform into a chaotic, blood-soaked nightmare, one that honestly shakes the entire empire to its core.
It really does. And just to give you a sense of what we're looking at, this isn't simply some, true crime story about a murder.
Yeah.
It's a meticulous record of a targeted assassination that just spirals spectacularly out of control.
We are going to examine how one impulsive act of vigilante violence by a military subordinate sets off this massive political chain reaction.
A reaction so severe it actually threatens to topple one of the empire's most elite military commanders.
Right. The man scaling the wall is named Zhao Zan. He's a fierce military subordinate. I mean, this is a man forged in the brutal warfare of the northern borders. He's not messing around. And he has a very specific target tonight. The official throwing the banquet, Xi Jinwu.
Right.
So, Zhan makes it over the east wall, lands quietly in the back garden, and slips completely unnoticed into the kitchen.
And here's where the stealth mission just immediately evaporates into sheer brutality.
Yeah.
Because there's a young maidservant in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And she's not an armed guard. She's not any kind of threat to him at all. She's simply tending the fire for the feast. And Jiaozhan just pulls a sharp knife from his leather boot and kills her.
It's so sudden.
It is. And I have to ask, why? I mean, if he's a trained military man on a stealth mission, why murder a random civilian who hasn't even noticed him yet?
Well, it highlights the terrifying reality of covert operations in this era. For a man like Zhan, who operates in these life-or-death border skirmishes, there's really no such thing as an innocent bystander in enemy territory.
It's liabilities.
Exactly. To him, the maidservant represents a potential scream, a scream that brings the manor guards down on him before he even reaches his target. So he eliminates the variable, and he doesn't just silence her.
No, he doesn't. He takes her severed head.
Yeah.
He literally takes her head, marches straight out of the kitchen, and strides right into the main hall where Xi Jinwu was drinking.
Oh.
Totally oblivious, surrounded by his musicians.
Just a horrific image.
And Jiazan doesn't, sneak up behind him to do this quietly either. He takes the maid's severed head and hurls it directly at Xi Jinwu's face.
Right, and the text notes that she is suddenly just covered in blood, utterly panicked. He starts screaming for his guards, shouting, "There's a thief! Where is everybody?"
But the guards scatter. They completely panic. So Zhao Zan steps forward, completely dominating the room. He curses Xi as a treacherous court official, demands to know, "Do you recognize Zhan today?"
Which is such a dramatic villain line.
Totally.
Yeah.
And before Xi can even process what is happening, Zhao Zan sweeps his blade and beheads the official right on the spot. The target is dead. The mission is accomplished.
I mean, technically, yes. The musicians and the surviving staff scatter in absolute terror, leaving Zhao Zhan completely alone with the body of his enemy.
Okay, let's unpack this, because this is where Zhao Zhan loses me completely.
Mm-hmm.
Up to this point, you could kind of view him as a rogue agent carrying out a hyper-specific hit, right? This is like a hitman crashing an exclusive gala.
Right.
But instead of an immediate stealthy exit once the target is down, he goes entirely off script. The text says he kills until his hands are nimble with it. He literally catches a bloodlust.
It's just a total massacre at that point.
Yeah, he charges into the private chambers and slaughters the entire household. 13 people in total. Men, women, young, old. He wipes out the entire family. And I'm just sitting here thinking, why? If his grudge was just against the corrupt official, why massacre the innocents?
What's fascinating here is how the source material frames this exact tragedy. The text actually includes a specific poem to contextualize the massacre.
Oh, really? What does it say?
Well, the poem essentially says that Xi Jinwu spent his entire career plotting to frame and trap others, but ultimately he only trapped himself. The narrative points out this grim irony.
Right.
Xi was a man who relied heavily on his wealth and his status as a high-ranking court minister. He thought that would shield him from the consequences of his political ruthlessness.
But a political shield doesn't exactly stop a physical sword.
Precisely, and the poem explicitly asks who pities the one who relied on wealth and status, but then it delivers this absolute gut punch, pointing out that the old and the young, his entire family, were slaughtered because of him.
Wow. So they're blaming the victim, in a way.
Well, the text doesn't excuse Zhao Zan's horrific actions, but it does place the ultimate blame for the vulnerability of that family squarely on Xi Jinwu's own corrupt political machinations. Yeah. In the zero-sum game of imperial court politics, collateral damage wasn't viewed as a tragic accident. It was the brutal, inevitable cost of doing business. Xi made enemies of ruthless men, and his family paid the price.
Man, it is a staggering escalation. 13 people dead. This lavish manor is now just a slaughterhouse. And then, as if the massacre wasn't enough, we transition to Zhao Zan's post-murder behavior.
Which is why
It is honestly one of the most bizarre psychological reactions I've ever encountered. It's approaching midnight. He is surrounded by 13 corpses. And what does Zhao Zan do?
he gets hungry.
Yes. He sits down at the banquet tables and casually helps himself to a massive, luxurious meal. He sits in the blood-soaked hall, eating the dead man's food.
It speaks to a chilling level of psychological detachment, doesn't it? The adrenaline of the massacre fades and his physical hunger just takes over.
But he doesn't just eat and run.
No, as he's preparing to finally leave, a surprisingly practical thought crosses his mind. He realizes that Xi Jinwu is a highly visible official in Bianjing. If Zhao Zan just vanishes into the night, the local authorities are going to face the absolute wrath of the emperor.
Oh, right, because someone has to take the fall for a high-profile murder.
Exactly. Innocent locals, perhaps the surviving servants or neighborhood watchmen, will inevitably be tortured and executed as scapegoats just to close the case.
So he decides to leave a confession. He actually wants to take the heat. He dips his fingers in fresh blood, and he writes a massive 2-line poem right on the door of the manor.
And that bloody note is deeply steeped in the mythology of the era. He writes, "Heaven has the 6 Ding and 6 Jia gods. Earth has the golden spirits and 7 devils."
Sounds incredibly intense.
It is. To understand this, you have to know that the 6 Ding and 6 Jia gods are powerful martial deities in Taoism. They govern time, space, and war. Yeah, so by invoking them, alongside the spirits of the earth, Zhao Zan is essentially summoning the forces of heaven and the underworld to act as his spiritual witnesses. He's making a cosmic oath that what he is about to write is the absolute truth.
Okay, so here's where it gets really interesting, because the next line is supposed to be his big confession. The bloody note concludes, "If you ask who the killer is, come find Zhao Qi and Zhao Ba."
Right.
I'm looking at this like a modern investigator, and I am baffled. I mean, if he wants to save the innocent locals by clearly taking responsibility, why on earth would he write a riddle naming Zhao Qi and Zhao Ba, which translates to Zhao 7 and Zhao 8, instead of just signing his actual name, Zhao Zan?
It definitely seems counterproductive at first glance.
Right. It's less like a standard confession and more like a modern-day comic book villain leaving a cryptic riddle for the authorities. Or like a hacker leaving a specific complex line of code in the architecture of a massive cyber attack.
Oh, that's a great comparison.
It's a signature designed to mock the authorities, proving they were there, while daring the government to try and breach their firewall to catch them.
That is an excellent way to look at it. If we connect this to the bigger picture of outlaw culture and military bravado, it makes perfect sense. Zhao Zan isn't some bureaucrat filling out a police report.
No, definitely not.
He's a warrior who just committed a legendary act of defiance against a corrupt civilian government. The use of Zhao Qi and Zhao Ba is a massive taunt. It's a play on his name that basically says, it was the Jia clan.
He is mocking them.
Exactly. He is daring them to march their pristine imperial guards all the way up to his rugged stronghold at Jeroshan to find him.
But that bloody signature backfires completely, doesn't it? By trying to taunt the local authorities, Zhao Zan inadvertently hands the ultimate political weapon to the exact corrupt faction he despises.
He really does.
By dawn, the night watchmen discover the scene. A coroner copies the bloody text, and the capital is thrown into a complete uproar. And this brings us to Wang Qin.
Yes, Wang Qin, a massive political rival to Zhao Zan's military faction.
Right, so Wang Qin hears about the massacre, sees the copied note, and immediately decodes Zhao Qi and Zhao Ba. He knows exactly who the Zhao clan serves.
And he doesn't waste any time. He bypasses the local police entirely and goes straight to Emperor Zhenzong. And the kicker is, Wang Qin doesn't just pin the blame on Zhao Zan.
No, he goes for the bigger fish.
He uses this mass murder to target his real enemy Zhao Zan's commander, the legendary general Yang Liulang.
He is the commander guarding the three passes.
Yes, the three passes are the critical northern border defenses of the Song dynasty. Beyond them lie these aggressive nomadic empires that are constantly threatening to invade.
So he's essential.
Absolutely. General Yang and his family are basically the human shield keeping the capital of Bianjing safe. Because of this, Yang Liulang is legally required to remain at his post. Leaving the three passes without imperial permission is a massive violation of state law. I mean, it borders on treason.
But Wang Qin goes to the emperor and says, not only did Yang Liulang secretly sneak back into the capital, but he brought his violent subordinate with him, and look what happened to a loyal court official.
The implication is unmistakable. He's saying General Yang ordered the hit.
And the emperor is stunned. He immediately dispatches 40 elite imperial guards with strict orders. Arrest Yang Liulang and the killer Zhao Zan.
So we shift scenes from the bloody manor to the Yang family residence, and the contrast is just jarring.
Totally jarring. General Yang Liulang isn't sitting in some dark room plotting assassinations. He is in the middle of a deeply emotional, super tense domestic discussion with his mother.
Right. His mother is sick with worry over a deeply personal insult. There has been an imperial edict pushed by civilian officials, like the late Xi Jinwu actually, to demolish a structure called the Tianbo Pavilion.
And the Tianbo Pavilion isn't just a building, is it?
Not at all. It was granted by a previous emperor to honor the Yang family's immense bloodshed and sacrifice for the dynasty.
Oh, wow. So it's a monument to their loyalty.
Exactly. For a corrupt civilian official like Xi Jinwu to order its demolition is a massive flex of political power over the military. Yang Liulang secretly left his critical border post and rushed back to the capital entirely out of filial piety just to comfort his mother and figure out how to save their family monument.
He has absolutely no idea what his subordinate has been doing in the dead of night.
None.
Imagine the sheer stress this general is under. He's already risking his life and his career by abandoning his military post to deal with this family crisis. It's like being a CEO trying to handle a massive, delicate corporate liability crisis with the board of directors.
That's a great analogy.
Right. You are legally on the hook for everything your company does. And right in the middle of this high-stakes negotiation, a messenger bursts in and says, by the way, your head of corporate security just burned down the rival company's headquarters and murdered the entire executive board. The CEO is obviously going to take the fall.
And General Yang's immediate reaction is pure panic. He knows this rogue action has completely incinerated any moral high ground he had regarding the pavilion.
Oh, yeah.
And just as the 40 Imperial Guards storm into the Yang Manor to arrest him, Zhao Zan comes charging in from the outside.
And Zhao Zan is completely unrepentant. He draws his bloody knife, ready to take on all 40 Imperial Guards by himself. And the guards are terrified of him. Zhao Zan yells something to the effect of, I've killed countless people in my life, was 13 more. I'll just go back to my mountain stronghold. Let's see them try to stop me.
This raises an important question for you, the listener, to consider regarding the burden of command. Because in this standoff in the courtyard, we see a profound philosophical clash. Well, General Yang Liulang represents order, duty, and the agonizing weight of state responsibility. But Zhao Zan represents raw, untamed, feral loyalty. He genuinely believes he did his commander a favor by eliminating the man trying to tear down their pavilion.
But General Yang is backed into a corner. He can't let Zhao Zan slaughter the emperor's guards because that makes it a full-blown armed rebellion. So Yang actually has to turn on his own fiercely loyal man.
It's a terrible position to be in.
He screams at Zhao Zan, you caused this massive disaster and now you want to resist arrest. Tie yourself up. And when Zhao Zan hesitates, Yang takes it a step further. He threatens to behead Zhao Zan himself, right then and there, to present his head to the emperor to prove his own innocence.
And it's only when his beloved commander threatens to kill him that Zhao Zan finally drops the knife and surrenders. Yang Liulang's decision to peacefully surrender to the guards, bringing his rogue subordinate with him, highlights an intense societal friction. It's the friction between the personal, blood-bound loyalty forged in the trenches and the absolute obedience demanded by imperial law. Yang chooses the law, trusting that the emperor's justice system will uncover the truth.
But that trust is about to be severely tested in the courtroom drama that follows. They are dragged before Emperor Zhenzong. And Yang Liulang doesn't try to weave a web of lies. He confesses to the lesser crime immediately.
Right, he admits he left his post.
He says, "I secretly left my post. I deserve to die for that. My mother was sick with worry over the pavilion." But he draws a hard line at the murder. He adamantly denies any involvement in the assassination plot, offering his own life if they can prove he ordered the hit.
Meanwhile, the political rival, Wang Qin, is pushing for immediate execution. He points to the eyewitnesses from the banquet and the bloody note.
And the emperor is stuck, right?
Very much so. The emperor is hesitating, caught between the strict letter of the law and the reality that Yang Liulang is the only thing keeping the northern invaders at bay.
Enter a major political heavyweight, the 8th Prince. He steps in to counter Wang Qin.
The 8th Prince is a powerful member of the royal family. His argument to the emperor is honestly a masterclass in ancient political economy.
What does he argue?
He concedes that Yang abandoned his post and is tied to a heinous crime. But, he argues, you must weigh that against Yang's massive past merits. Yang has guarded the 3 passes. His family has literally bled for the empire. The 8th Prince argues that those past military achievements should act as literal currency to buy him leniency now.
And the emperor agrees. He decides against immediate execution and passes the sentencing down to the judicial office. But this is where the system's fatal flaw is really exposed.
Because of Wang Qin.
Yes, Wang Qin, furious that he didn't get an execution, exploits the flexibility of the penal system. He secretly meets with the chief judge, a man named Huang Yu.
Wang Qin bribes and pressures this judge, who is already a political ally of his. They know they can't override the emperor's call for leniency, but they can dictate the exact terms of the punishment.
Right.
So the judge drafts the sentences, the emperor rubber stamps them, and we get a verdict that reveals everything about how this society functions.
General Yang Liulang, a legendary military commander whose tactical genius basically holds the borders together, is spared execution. Instead, he is exiled to a place called Ruzhou to do hard labor.
And the specific labor is fascinating.
It's so weird. He is ordered to manufacture exactly 200 vats of official government wine every single year for 3 years. I have to admit, I am completely baffled by this. Why wine?
It seems absurd, but it is incredibly calculated. During the Song Dynasty, the production and sale of wine was a massive state monopoly.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was a primary revenue stream for the government. By sentencing Yang Liulang to run an imperial winery, they're forcing a high-ranking military aristocrat to perform menial blue-collar labor just to line the state's coffers.
Yeah.
It is a profound public humiliation. Wang Qin is neutralizing his rival not by killing him, but by stripping him of his dignity and his command.
It's basically character assassination by bureaucracy. But wait, hang on a second. I get Yang Liulang using military merit as a shield. He's a legendary general. But what about Zhao Zan, the man who actually slaughtered a family of 13 and wrote a bloody poem?
Zhao Zan is also spared the death penalty.
How? I mean, how does a subordinate grunt have enough merit currency to buy his way out of executing 13 people?
Well, in this military culture, merit is somewhat collective. Zhao Zan has fought alongside the Yang family on the borders for years. He is recognized as a lethal asset to the state.
So he's too useful to kill.
Exactly. Soldiers like him are viewed less as individual citizens subject to moral laws and more as vital state machinery. The judge commutes his death sentence to penal military service, exiling him to a different location, Dingzhou.
It's unbelievable.
Furthermore, Wang Qin doesn't actually care about achieving justice for Xi Jinwu's dead family. He just wanted the Yang faction out of the capital. Yang Liulang is the shield of the realm. I mean, he is a universally revered military commander.
Things aren't going so well for him.
No, they are not. He is being stripped of his immediate power and exiled to a provincial command called Ruzhou.
And he's being exiled because of a murder he didn't even actually commit.
Exactly.
His fiercely loyal but highly volatile subordinate, Zhao Zan, just assassinated a notoriously tyrannical figure in the capital named Xi Jinwu.
And Zhao Zan did it out of righteous anger, but in a rigid imperial system, the commanding officer has to take the fall.
Which puts Liulang in a fascinating position. Okay, let's unpack this. He's trying to absorb the political damage to protect his man and his family, right?
Right. Before he leaves the capital of Bianjing, he has this heart-wrenching farewell with his mother, Shi Taijun. He essentially has to hand over the protection of his family to a powerful political ally, the 8th Prince.
Because Liulang himself is now a liability.
He is a massive liability, so he hits the road to exile alongside that very same subordinate, Zhao Zan.
Because Zhao Zan is also being exiled, sent off to a different distant outpost called Dengzhou.
Right. But the way these two men process their punishment gives us the first major conceptual key to this story.
Which is the physics of loyalty in a corrupt system.
Exactly. Let's look at Zhao first. I mean, he practically laughs off his exile.
He does.
He openly tells Liulang that he has zero intention of going to Dengzhou. He's just going to head back to their military fortress at Sangwon, rally their seasoned troops, and wait to launch a rescue mission for Liulang.
He's basically going completely rogue.
Totally rogue. Zhao Zan fundamentally rejects the authority of a system he views as broken.
I look at Zhao Zan, and he operates like a surge protector in a modern workplace.
Oh, I like that analogy.
Right. The moment there's a threat or an injustice, like Xi Jinwu's tyranny, he trips immediately and violently to stop it. He doesn't care if it burns out the circuit or gets him fired.
He just wants to burn the building down.
Exactly.
Huh.
But Liulang, he acts like a battery. He tries to absorb and store all that systemic damage himself until he overheats. He's the rule follower who insists on trusting HR.
Yeah, Liulang insists on trusting the process. He commands Zhao Zan to obey the emperor's decree, go to his assigned exile, and just wait for an official pardon.
Warning him that rebellion will only bring heavier punishment.
Right, because Liulang's core belief is that his flawless record of service will eventually be recognized by the institution.
Which is a noble instinct.
It is.
So let's trace Liulang's arrival in Ruzhou. The text notes he arrives during the late summer and early autumn.
The weather is turning cold, the landscape is shifting.
It perfectly mirrors his sudden drop in status. Now, Ruzhou isn't some desolate wasteland. It's a functional provincial hub.
And the local prefect, Zhang Ji, recognizes exactly who just walked into his jurisdiction.
Prefect Zhang Ji doesn't see a convicted exile.
No, he sees the only general capable of keeping the northern barbarians from slaughtering them all. So Zhang Ji wants to protect Liulang, and he makes a calculation.
He gives him a cushy job.
He assigns Liulang a highly vital, relatively comfortable administrative job, supervising the official state-sponsored winemaking at the Wannan relay station.
On paper, this sounds like the ultimate favor, right? You're exiled, but instead of breaking rocks, you're managing the local vineyard while waiting for the political heat to die down.
What's fascinating here is that Zhang Ji thinks he's protecting Liulang. But that is where Zhang Ji fundamentally miscalculates the mechanics of power.
How so?
We have to understand what wine represented in this era. It wasn't just a beverage, it was a state monopoly.
Oh, right, the taxes.
Exactly. The revenues from state-produced wine were massive, and they flowed directly into the imperial treasury to fund public works and, crucially, the military.
So it's the lifeblood of the empire's economy.
It is. So by putting Liulang in charge of an economic pillar, Zhang Ji thinks he's wrapping him in institutional armor.
But really, he's just painted a massive glowing target on Liulang's back for the villains in the capital.
Precisely. Let's look at the antagonists, Wang Qin and Huang Yu.
Yeah.
They want Liulang permanently removed.
But they face a structural problem. Liulang is a universally recognized war hero.
Right. You cannot accuse the realm's greatest general of cowardice or battlefield incompetence.
The troops wouldn't believe it, the public wouldn't buy it, and the charge wouldn't stick.
Yeah. This reveals the first rule of asymmetrical political warfare. If you can't beat your enemy on their home battlefield, you completely change the battlefield.
So Wang Qin and Huang Yu realize they can't attack Liulang's military record. They pivot and attack his new civilian job.
And it is a breathtakingly malicious bureaucratic trap. Huang Yu proposes that they accuse Liulang of relaxing the strict state laws on wine production.
Accusing him of embezzling the state's wine, right?
Yeah, and selling it on the private market to fund his own personal escape from exile.
Wow. So it's not a minor administrative violation, it's treason by accounting.
Treason by accounting, exactly.
They're accusing the general of actively starving the treasury that funds the very army he claims to serve. That shifts the entire paradigm.
It shifts it perfectly. And when this accusation reaches the emperor, the reaction is explosive.
He just loses it.
Totally. The emperor completely bypasses any formal investigation or trial. He immediately summons Huanzan and orders him to ride out to Ruzhou, execute Liulang, and bring back his severed head.
Okay, wait. The emperor just snaps and orders a beheading over some wine taxes, despite everything the Yang family has done.
I know, it sounds extreme.
Because just weeks prior, he was willing to forgive the Yang family for a literal murder in the streets of the capital. Now, over an unproven allegation of tax evasion, summary execution, how does the math work on that?
Well, it makes perfect sense when you look at the underlying psychology of an absolute ruler. Think about the political capital the emperor spent pardoning Liulang for Zhaozan's murder.
He stuck his neck out.
Right. In his mind, he was being incredibly magnanimous. He honored the Yang family's past military merits.
He gave them grace.
Yes. So when Wang Qin and Huang Yu feed him this story about the wine embezzlement, the emperor doesn't just see a financial crime.
He takes it personally.
He sees his personal mercy being thrown right back in his face. It is an intolerable insult to his authority.
And beyond the bruised ego, touching the state monopoly threatens the economic foundation of the throne itself.
Exactly. In the emperor's calculus, an internal dispute between nobles is a headache. But threatening the state treasury, that is a fatal infection.
That brings us to the morning court session in the capital. The 8th prince, who promised to protect the Yang family, tries to use the official channels to defend Liulang.
But the emperor shuts him down instantly.
He throws the previous murder right back at the 8th prince, effectively saying, "You defended this family when they slaughtered my minister. You have zero credibility on this."
The front door of official justice is slammed shut and deadbolted.
Which is the exact moment the narrative evolves from a political drama into a full-blown shadow conspiracy.
Because when the official rules guarantee your destruction, your only option is to rewrite the rules in the dark.
Enter Kuzun. Kuzun is a brilliant, highly pragmatic strategist. He watches the 8th prince fail in open court.
But Kuzun doesn't try to argue with the emperor. Instead, he looks at the specific mechanics of the execution order.
And he spots a massive, vital loophole.
A huge one. He pulls the 8th prince aside and points out one detail: the man the emperor just dispatched to behead, Liulang, Huyanzan, is actually deeply loyal to their faction.
Oh, wow. That changes everything.
That realization triggers a massive escalation. We are no longer talking about legal defense. We are talking about high treason.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, you have to ask yourself why Kuzun, the 8th prince, and Huyanzan men at the absolute pinnacle of society would risk their own necks.
Why risk the execution of their entire extended families to openly defy a direct imperial decree?
It's because of the northern barbarians. They're looking at a reality the emperor is currently blinded to by his own rage.
Right, exactly. And northern barbarians are an existential, constantly looming threat. These conspirators realize a stark mathematical truth. The survival of the nation relies entirely on keeping its best general alive.
So they're willing to break the law, to commit undeniable treason, because they believe the security of the state overrides the emperor's tantrum over wine taxes.
It's a national security override.
So the network activates. Huyanzan rides to Ruzu with this lethal imperial decree in his pocket, and he immediately holds a secret meeting with Prefect Zhang Ji.
He explains the reality of the situation, and Zhang Ji, who we know already deeply respects Liulang, is all in.
They immediately agree to fake Liulang's death.
But they hit a brutal logistical wall. If Huyanzan goes back to the capital empty-handed, they all die.
Right, they need a body. Specifically, they need a severed head to present to the emperor.
This is where the story strips away any romantic illusion about what it takes to survive in this system. A local prison official named Wu Rong steps up to solve their logistical problem.
He informs the conspirators that there is currently an inmate on death row named Kai Quan.
This prisoner's crimes are severe. He is already scheduled to be executed. And in a chilling coincidence, his facial features closely resemble Yang Liulang's.
Now, the text doesn't shy away from the gritty, unsparing mechanics of what happens next.
No, it really doesn't.
The conspirators don't hold a hearing. They don't ask Kai Quan if he wants to die a patriot. They just ply him with extra food and a massive amount of state wine until he is blackout drunk in his cell.
And then, in the dark, Wu Rong secretly beheads him.
It's such a dark, moral gray area. It forces you to look at the absolute ruthless pragmatism required to maintain power.
The conspirators are acting for the survival of the state, but their methods perfectly mirror the cold, bureaucratic calculation of the villains who framed Liulang.
Right. To Wang Qin, Liulang's life was just an obstacle to be removed.
And to the Shadow Network, Kai Quan's life is just a token to be spent, a piece on the board.
It's a dark transaction. They literally buy the hero's survival with the unconsenting blood of a prisoner.
Yeah.
With the grisly physical evidence secured, Prefect Zhang Ji puts the escape into motion. He tells Liulang to completely shed his military identity.
They dress the realm's greatest general in the unassuming clothes of a traveling merchant.
Under the cover of this disguise, Liulang slips out of Ruzu and begins the long, secret journey to hide at the Wuning mansion.
While Liulang disappears into the landscape, Huyanzan is left with the most dangerous task of all:
The overnight ride.
He packs Kai Kwan's severed head into a box and begins a relentless overnight ride all the way back to the capital city of Beijing. Everything hinges on his ability to sell this lie to the most powerful man in the world.
Here's where it gets really interesting. Picture the tension in the room during the morning court session. Huyanzan walks in.
The emperor is waiting on the throne.
Huyanzan presents the box. The text tells us the emperor doesn't just nod from afar. He personally steps down from the throne to inspect the head.
The emperor knows Liulang's face. He is staring directly into the lifeless eyes of Kai Kwan, looking for any sign of deception.
And the bluff holds.
It does. The emperor's own confirmation bias works against him. He expects to see a dead Liulang, and the resemblance is close enough that he believes it.
He officially declares the matter settled. But the 8th prince is standing right there, and he realizes they are still in extreme danger.
The head is a ticking time bomb.
Exactly. If the emperor decides to mount that head on a pike in the public square as a warning, it's only a matter of time before someone with sharper eyes notices.
Like a rival faction member or a close friend of the Yang family, they'll look up and realize the bone structure is wrong.
The evidence has to be destroyed, so the 8th prince has to figure out how to ask the emperor for the head without sounding suspicious.
And he does it by executing an absolute masterstroke of psychological manipulation.
He plays on the emperor's ego, right?
Yes, he doesn't ask for a favor. He offers the emperor a public relations victory.
Right. The 8th prince steps forward and essentially says, "Your Majesty, your absolute justice has been served, the law is upheld, but consider your legacy.
Show the realm how magnanimous you are."
Allow the famously loyal Yang family to take this head and bury it with dignity. It proves to the entire empire that while you punish corruption, you never forget the past sacrifices of your heroes.
It is a flawless bureaucratic maneuver. He frames the disposal of the evidence as a political win for the throne.
The emperor gets to feel incredibly powerful and incredibly merciful at the exact same moment.
The emperor completely buys the spin. He agrees, hands the box over to the royal guards, and orders them to deliver it directly to the Yang family's ancestral home.
And this is where the narrative loops back around to deliver its most tragic irony.
Because the political victory of the Shadow Network comes at an agonizing emotional cost to the very people they are trying to protect.
We saw Liulang having that tearful, desperate goodbye with his mother, Shi Taijun.
Right, at the Tianbo Pavilion.
Now, mere weeks later, the royal guards arrive at her door holding a box. Shi Taijun is not part of this secret conspiracy.
She doesn't know about Kozin's loophole or the death row inmate or the merchant disguise.
When she opens that box, she believes the absolute worst has happened.
She believes that the empire her family bled to protect has finally consumed her son.
The text details how the entire Yang household falls into a state of deep, hysterical mourning. They take the head of a complete stranger, they hold a full, honorable funeral, and they weep bitterly.
Completely unaware that their beloved Liulang is still breathing.
It is a profound observation on the collateral damage of systemic manipulation.
The state is secured, the hero survives, the emperor is pacified, but the family pays the full emotional tax. They are mourning a phantom.